I would say I was really controlling and really codependent. And when I was diagnosed when I went through cancer, it was really like a reset for me, and bending with the wind is the only way to go through something like that. Because you can't control what you have to literally let go of control. Like going under in surgery is like one of my favorite moments, because it's like the moment right before you go under is the most like surrender you've ever felt in your life. I've had like 12 surgeries. So I love that part when I hear I'm going to have a surgery. I'm like, yes, I get to feel the most letting go that you could possibly feel. And I want to just like let go in everything and not overthink and not control. And so when you bend with the wind, you can't overthink and you can't control. And that's the goal, is to not.
You've made an overall decision that the universe is in your favor.
Or not, like just that it knows better than me.
We live in a complex and ever-changing world, a place that is maybe harder than ever to successfully navigate. The answer is surely to be brave, but it's also to seek and be open to guidance. Mentors are the one consistent through line in the lives of all accomplished people, myself included. So welcome to Mentor Buffet, a feast for those, like me, curious about who helped the most successful among us succeed. Angela Trimbur is a choreography teacher and artist, and I took her class last night before we filmed this episode. It was my first ballet class, and it made me cry in a good way. Dance can teach us a lot, and Angela has created an environment for people to express and understand themselves through movement.
It's surprising what we still tell ourselves that we've told ourselves like when we were kids, or someone told you when you were a kid, like you look like a wet noodle when you dance, and then you like believe that forever.
Angela shares about two mentors of hers. A legendary choreographer, Twyla Tharp, whose guidelines for life really hit for Angela.
She's like a no-nonsense, inspiring you to keep it moving is like one of the names of her books, and to not become stagnant in any way, and making decisions with forward motion always.
She hears Twyla's voice in her head, even though they don't have a personal relationship, and it keeps her on track. Angela also talks about a mentorship she's found in her friend Miranda July, whose art I've long admired. Their friendship shows how creative community can uplift you and bring you closer to yourself. This conversation was amazing. Here's me and Angela Trimbur. Last night got to go to Balletcore, and it was so cool because I think there's like a fantasy, like an adult fantasy to being able to do the things that you're providing for people. Mm-hmm. And it's something that is probably only even entertained because it's in this format, right? Like I don't really have a fantasy to do actual ballet. I have fantasy to do the fantasy of it.
Yeah, like do you watch? You've seen Black Swan and like Center Stage, and it didn't have a history with ballet in your childhood?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Okay. So you're just fresh up, like. Okay, I'm here to explore whatever this is, and the like wearing a ballet outfit. No, not like it's like yeah. Okay, so yeah,
yeah, and well, I like it because it's anything that is like a safe exploration of something completely foreign to me is like so exciting, because it's like if you just step in the room, you're going to be like stimulated, and it's going to invite something that like you don't even have to be prepared for.
Yeah.
So I think what I liked was not having any assumption of preparation, which in adulthood, I assume that I should be prepared for a lot of things I'm doing. Right? Yes. Like this conversation, it's like I am hosting or whatever. I'm sitting with you in this conversation. And so to step into a room where I'm not expected to know anything is a rare thing too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the kind of purpose of this class, which is cosplaying as a professional ballerina and really pretending that you dedicated your life to it, is that you get to like not fake it till you make it. I'm trying to think of a different phrase because it's not really what it is either. It's like you get to feel like you belong somewhere that maybe you didn't. And most likely everyone there wouldn't feel like they'd belong in a ballet class, like, you know, a professional ballet class. You would go like in the same way that I went to a beginner ballet class. And I was like there's still, even though it's beginner, like there's still this, it's still a very specific club to be a part of. Like your body is a huge part of it. Like literally the way you look, how lightweight you are for lifting, like the shapes your body makes, the lines, the perfection. Like it's just such a world that it's not for everyone. And it makes people feel not like they're not good. Like a lot of people in the end of my 13 class, they'd come up to me and be like, I haven't danced since ballet, like since I was a kid. And like I got kicked out of ballet. My teacher was so mean to me, and I haven't danced since. And that's when like light bulbs started to come up, like, oh, there's like some sort of block that people have around dance having to be perfect or like looking really good while you do it. And I feel like that to me is one of the most frustrating things because like dance is scientifically like the number one thing that makes one happy. Like
really?
Yeah, it's the number one. It's like, you know, sure, running's on there and all these other like kind of exercise things, but dance is like the number one, and it's what most people, not for me, you know, and that I'm just sort of like, why? Because you don't look like Beyonce's backup dancer when you do it, so you think it's not for you. Like you get to express yourself. There's feelings inside that need to come out, like the whole like screaming in last night's class, like that whole part of it, like you have to like move things in your body. You have to you got to shift energy around and dance with music and the feelings. Like music is sentimental and it tells you things. It can make you cry by just listening to it. And so imagining like moving on top of feeling all the things that the words and the artists and all, like it's just like the most like electric thing that you could do with yourself. And to think that like you're holding yourself back because you feel like you're not good is just sort of sad. I feel so sad about that. I'm like, no, you guys, come on.
Yeah. Or just that even that moving like that or screaming or all this stuff is meant to be for like little girls or by yourself. Like sometimes I feel like I'm like, we're all maybe more in touch with our emotions, but there's still hours to deal with in like a therapy or like in our journaling and on our own. And so there was also this like community effect of like, I mean, I did not grow up around a lot of girls. And so it's a little overwhelming for me to be in a room of like 100 girls, but I also love it. And I was like, this is the pathway into that for me too, which is a very, the dance at the end where we had the free dance, that made me like cry because it was all these girls moving as they wanted to move after being like released and trained and comfortable and supported.
Yeah.
That was probably the most powerful part.
That's my favorite part too, because it's like most people are so unleashed already, and then to like I feel like you have to end the class with improv to get people back in touch with their like movement fingerprint, you know, and like feeling like like reconnecting with themselves in whatever way they want to move, and ending on that note versus like how well did you learn the choreography in 10 minutes? You know what I mean? Like it feels better to end in that way, and then to end with everyone on the fetal position on the ground and taking up space. Like even with the scream, like people, even when I make people X out on the floor and say like, you like take up space, you deserve to, I see people cry even just hearing that. And that just is like, in the same way that when I have people scream and you're like slamming the ballet shoes on the ground and you're screaming, like I like to like get down and I see like some people are holding back, and like that's why I make that joke. Like I don't know if you have to like save your voice for something, so I can't like judge it, but in my opinion, sometimes when I'm seeing it, I'm seeing someone like
well, you're incredible because you know exactly what to say to make people feel safe and free at the same time. Because there's like a humor to it, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. There should be with everything, I think.
Yeah, and and it feels less like a command. It's an invitation, you know? And
glad you felt that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess I'm wondering, like, when you step in the class, you're in like a persona, a character. What would you call it?
I call it a character, or like I'm playing the role of, because I want that. So yeah, I enter the room I'm wearing like a black 1940s vintage dress. I love it. In my closet, I have like 17 like Miss Angela dresses. I'm like, which one today? Because it's so fun. I put this character on and the sunglasses and a fake cigarette. And I enter and I slam the door and I'm walking in and I'm the goal to, what is this? You know? And a lot of times the new people in class are like, what is this? And it makes them a little scared, which I like, because it's very quickly realize that it's all pretend, and that way I'm starting it off with the goal, which is to pretend and get to play. It's playful. It's like we're kids and we're playing house, we're playing ballet. I'm playing this teacher, you're playing the pro ballerina, and then later when people are watching, they're playing the parent at the recital and they're filming you, and like, so there's always like something to get to pretend you're doing, which takes you out of your own head. It makes you feel more open to being silly and playful. It gives you like a sense of belonging, because you're like, oh yeah, I can just pretend that I fit into this world. And through that, you actually do build a community, and you make friends with this like-minded gossip at the bar moment that I force everyone to do. And like, you're connecting with a stranger, and you have the like pacifier of the fake cigarette, which is, there's something to it. I don't smoke. I don't encourage smoking. Like, I hate the taste. I would never date anyone that smoked. But this fake cigarette is the prop of the ballerina. You know, they're all halfway at intermission. They're like, you know, at the sides of the stage smoking. All ballerinas smoke. Like, so that's just like part of the role. So once people have this like fake cigarette, they get to have this fake like confidence as well, like you know, and I don't know, so it's just sort of, and then through that, then they're in this world where they're more open. Like, we've just broken down a bunch of barriers. Like, the expectations are low, it's low stakes, we're just playing. And the formula of that, it just feels really like I don't know, like, it just feels like we're unlocking some stuff. And then through that also doing choreography to classical music that has some sort of like empowering storyline. You are dancing for yourself, you know, with these kind of like storylines that I like to make up. And there's always like some sort of like lesson in them or something. So
who was like your Miss Angela? Like, when you're looking at us on the ground and we're banging the slippers against the ground, who did that for you?
My Miss Angela is anyone in these movies that we're watching. So it's still like it's just like part of the ballet movie world. There's always a villain, and the villain is the teacher, and the teacher is the villain because they make you feel small and they make you compare yourself to other people, and they have high expectations and low love level, like this like tough love persona. So that is sort of like I mean, my mom was a dance teacher, and growing up, she was Miss Denise, and anytime I talk about my mom on a podcast, it's like World War III. But
that's how I feel when I talk about my family stuff too.
Yeah, and she specifically is like, don't mention me, and I'm like, you're a part of my story, I'm part of my life, and I do dance, so I don't know. I'll say this and like maybe we'll keep it, but
yeah.
But no, my mom was really like, I had to be the best in the class because I was a reflection of my mom, and she owned this dance school, even though it was like a kids' dance school. And I felt like I'd get in trouble if I didn't do the choreo good, or like she would be disappointed in me. And whether that's like your mom or this character in a ballet movie or something, there's always someone that you fear you're letting down or disappointing, or who makes you feel that way. And so putting someone like that in the class to give and encouraging you to roll your eyes at that person. And like, you can do it with me, whatever you want. I'm just playing this like version of a thing that maybe got in your way at some point. So you can like poetically put whatever you want on me and like, what a bitch. Like, the God, like, Miss Angela, what a fucking bitch. Like, you get to like, have anger.
With writing, it's like that's the main thing is like you would labor over every word and you would make sure like you stand behind everything you said. It's not a podcast, right? And so I think that's where mediums like have a power. Like a movie is different than a TV show, is different than a book, is different than an Instagram post, is different than a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a time and a place, I feel like, for every story,
Mm-hmm.
right? And some of them lend themselves to like your thought,
who I am and
who you are, and the thought that it would need and the time to really tell it in a way where you could stand behind it.
Right.
And so I feel like I think books are really good for that, you know?
Yeah.
But I hear you on it. So yeah, so tell me about your mentor, Angela.
So I think that my mentor, which by the way, it is a really nice thing to like think who is my mentor and to like go through all the people and discover that to me, my mentor is Twyla Tharp, who is like a choreographer that really is just all about, she's like a no nonsense, inspiring you to keep it moving is like one of the names of her books. And like, that's sort of her thing is like, let's, to live a full life, to appreciate, that you have one and to not, become stagnant in any way and making decisions with forward motion always. And like, she has this thing like bend with the wind. And that to me is like that's like my life motto. When things happen, you got to learn how to bend with it instead of resist it. And to see like obstacles as advantage, things you can use to your advantage instead of things that are getting in the way of what you want. Like, so that whole keep it moving, park farther away from where you need to go, get those extra steps in. She is like decides what works for her. And like, what I really like is she moved to New York and she wanted to be a choreographer. And that is why I moved to New York with the same exact goal. And her whole, like, she's like, I moved to New York, I got a bowl haircut and I started teaching. And like, so, I mean, I also did get a haircut, but not the bowl, but I really wanted to just like, I was living in LA and I was in the same apartment for like 14 years and I was rent control, and it was the kind of thing where I'm like, I'll never leave. This is like the best deal. I'm kind of like shackled to it, which is like a weird word for me to use. I'm like, oh, you're shackled to an amazing place. But that's because I felt like I can't leave. And so, and I couldn't like have a sublet or anything, but this whole like keep it moving thing, I'm like, I can't stay here. I have to find what's next for me. And when I went through cancer, within the pandemic, and like, so seeing all those things is like, I need to make the walls new for where I am. Like, so I moved to New York. I had $3,000 in my bank account. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And I just started, just dove right into it and just started teaching. And then, but yeah, she's the reason that I found myself in New York and being a choreographer, because her whole thing is like, she's like ballet, but she's like a flexed foot ballerina. And she kind of introduces like comedy to her ballets, and her dance routines always have humor in them. And that's what I like. That's just exactly what I want to do too. Like, you create your own way of movement that is a little off kilter and unexpected, but have the like humor in there, because you have to. Like, it's really fun to be watch a ballet and then hear the audience laugh is really, I don't know. It just feels like people get permission then to react instead of like you know, like, I don't know. So
Yeah.
I just feel like the emotions that she likes to encourage people to feel is similar to like what I like to do.
When did you first feel her influence on you?
Someone got me her autobiography and straight up just said, like, I think you would really like this choreographer. And so that was when I still lived in my apartment, and I don't read that well, but I gobbled it up, and that's how I knew. Like, I really was having a connection to this person's journey and their life. And I mean, she is. I don't have the ethics that she has still, but it's like she wakes up every single day. She wakes up at 6 a.m. or maybe it was even 5:45, something early, and she starts her day. After she goes to the gym, she goes to the studio every day. She starts in this egg shape on the floor, and she does it for 1 hour. She sets a 1 hour timer, and she tries to find new ways to come out of the egg shape. And if she like sees, oh, I kind of like the way my hand's doing, she'll like mark that down and then go right back into it. And every day for an hour. And like me doing that for 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm good. But to make the work that she's done and to have that kind of discipline really just makes me feel like there's so much inside of you to discover if she's making all these discoveries on a daily basis, doing something that you'd think would be, all right, we get it, the egg shape, sure, you know, but she's still finding these things. And so I always think about that too, with like making discoveries in yourself and how there's 9 million movements and dances that you can create if you just really dedicate yourself to like set it like a time. An hour is a long time.
Yeah, taking the time.
Yeah.
Well, taking the time and knowing that there's no boredom, essentially. Like something simple can become something wholly original, and there's discovery from the same exact origin. There's like a million discoveries to be had. And what seems so powerful about that is like with dance, your vessel is your body, but a lot of people feel so stuck in their body as if that's the thing to change, when really that egg metaphor is kind of like, yeah, this is what you've got. Figure your way out of this in a really new way, and figure your way through it and work with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome for anybody doing anything.
Yeah.
You know,
and she's really all about the body being for whatever job you have. She says like your body is your job. And I thought that was interesting, because at first I thought she was referring to just dancers and that is the case for them. But she's like, no, your body is your home. It's what gets you have it forever. So keeping your brain and your body healthy, and your eating right. And she's just really all about being really intentional with treating your body right, and how it's really about making that like a well-oiled machine that can get you, you know, even if you're just typing, like you're able, you don't have this like,
yeah,
I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like an attention to everything that you make in your whatever job you're.
I mean, you're saying that like fully embody yourself, like exist in the world and interact with it. It's never like it's not just your hands typing. It's you're there, right?
Yeah,
as like a human.
Yeah.
Did you get to know her before you got sick? Like, did you know who she was before that?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I learned about her, and actually somebody that I know started dancing with her and in New York, and I got to like go sit in on one of her rehearsals, and it was.
Tell me about that.
I mean, it was as if like Angelina Jolie was in the room or something. I just felt like, oh my God, like this is the coolest person, and I'm just watching her be matter of fact and make, you know, she commands, and you really want to impress her, but the way to impress her is to be listen, focus, and also be yourself. So it's like really fun to watch the way she interacts with these dancers that she works with on a day-to-day basis, and to just see the respect go back and forth was really inspiring. Just the mutual respect is what I kind of witnessed in that. And they're so fond of her and like look at her in such a loving way because she's inspired all of them to like their dancing has completely changed because her style is so unique and they're used to dancing a certain way. And
did you ever meet and talk to Twyla then?
I did. It was really brief. My friend introduced me after and she was like, "Oh, that's the friend," because my friend told her like you inspired her to like kind of start this whole like Balletcore thing. And so even like the brief interaction I had with her where she was like, "Oh, hey, oh, that's her, huh? Nice to meet you." And then I was like, I don't know. There was just I felt like she gave me like a little nod of approval, like through just that brief interaction. But I mean, when she has a ballet, I buy myself like a front row ticket and I treat myself and I go alone and I just sit in the front and I just think everything she does is so exciting. So
it seems magical to have somebody like that in your life. Like somebody who's still like a little bit larger than life and like still is someone you look up to, even as you're making the inspiration your own.
Yeah.
To have her still there is feels very rare and special.
Yeah, well, she's also like a voice in my head, like, because I listen to her audiobooks too, since it's her voice. And I just always hear her like, go, do it. Stop thinking, stop fearing. So she's constantly like on a shoulder of mine, like, get out of bed, you know?
Yeah.
So she really is in like all aspects of life, like not even just creatively, but just the idea that you have a body, it's your home, you get to get out of bed and you should. And I don't know, there's anytime I'm just feeling stuck, I just think about her. So I would say she's a big like mentor for anything I'm going through in life. It's like, what would Twyla say, you know?
Yeah. Do you feel like the way that you encourage people to feel in the classes is the way you feel most of the time now?
I have felt small and I have felt like I don't belong somewhere. We've all had that feeling. But when it comes to dance, I just feel like it's so obvious to me. So I don't have those insecurities anymore when it comes to dance. If anything, I've never really been someone that thought that dance had to be perfect. I've always been like, if anything, you think about like viral videos of somebody like back when YouTube first came out or something, it's like, it isn't the person that's amazing that's doing backflips. It's the like grandpa like at the gas station dancing like and going for it. Like, and that, why is that? It's because we're watching someone go for it and not like care what anyone thinks, you know, they're going for it. And that is it's like no one really makes fun of anybody for not like, they shouldn't be dancing. Like if they are, they're like a villain in a movie from 2014. Like it just feels like nobody's that snobby, or I don't know, or are they? Maybe they are, but in my mind I'm like, no one's thinking about you or talking about you or like even in like the class, like no one's watching being like, that girl messed up. Like literally nobody is. If anything, you're helping them like, oh, okay, she messed up, that means I can. Like you're just like, no matter what happens, you're helping someone by just being you and living and going for it and not judging yourself. And just not caring what anyone thinks is a huge life lesson that I've learned, and I still struggle with it, but not taking anything personal, not caring what people think. Their opinion of you is like a reflection of themselves in whatever nuanced way they have their life. So not caring what anyone thinks is kind of the goal with dance.
I'm back with another Meryl shoe, the Antora 4. This is my new favorite. Meryl has been a global leader in hike for over 40 years, and that's older than me. But I did just have a birthday, and the day started with a trail run in my Antora 4s, and the night ended with a glow stick night hike with all my friends, which led into a party. It was very fun. And there was dancing, and you can also wear Meryls on the dance floor. I was sweating and thankful for the 100% recycled, breathable mesh lining and recycled mesh footbed cover, also great for hot days on the trail. The Antora 4 is your best friend if you're new to trail running or if you're old to trail running like me. I love these shoes. Nimble, versatile, cute, comfortable, and steezy. Meryl believes in sharing the power of the outside with everyone, and so do I. Get out there, lace up your Antora 4s, and gallop, y'all. For a limited time, we're partnering with Meryl to give you an exclusive offer of 25% off your first purchase using code MentorBuffet25 when you check out on Meryl.com. You can find my favorite Meryl shoes and gear at Meryl.com/Alexi. You know something's good if your teammate talks about it on a cool down after a great workout. I learned about Momentous from a teammate of mine and then later had the chance to try it myself. For athletes at the highest level, trust is incredibly important, and Momentous stands out to me because of their high testing standards, which allow me to focus on what I would like to be most concerned about: my training, my goals, and being in the moment with running. The Momentous standard has become synonymous with the industry's gold standard in quality and efficacy. Momentous is my friend, and I can count on it. And I feel certain that whether I'm recovering at home or on the road, since I travel a lot, Momentous can provide a foundation of support for my recovery as I chase my big dreams. The Momentous 3 is a trio that includes protein, creatine, and omega-3, and that's all I need. So what are you waiting for? Head to livemomentous.com and use code MentorBuffet for 35% off your first subscription. That's code MentorBuffet at livemomentous.com for 35% off your first subscription.
I mean, I like to talk about the book, The Four Agreements. I really love that book, and it's really been a Bible for me. And that book has really taken my default settings and really just like unplugging them and taking all the wires out of them and just like letting them exist for a second and having to like rewire my brain, because it's like, don't take anything personal.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of them. Have you read the book?
Mm-hmm.
You know it? I love it.
But keep sharing.
Don't take anything personal. Don't gossip about yourself or somebody else. Never make assumptions. Always speak and communicate as clearly as possible, and do your best at all times. And that's going to change no matter whatever the situation is. And so those kind of four things have made me change my default settings, because I always lean on that person doesn't like me. I'm not, I suck. I'm not that, or if they think that about me, then I must not be cool or something. And then just kind of like realizing that doesn't matter, and how specifically nuanced that is, how you can't, like, even with like acting, right? Like, you don't get cast in something. It's not because there's so many nuance. And when you're on the other side of it, like when I'm casting something, I'm like, oh, like the height, you know, or whatever it is, like, oh, we already have this person. Like, there's things you don't even know about why you don't move forward or why you get rejected in some way. And just seeing like rejection as protection, and embodying these kind of like agreements that I now make with myself. And I don't gossip is really hard, and deciding the difference between like what's gossip and what's sharing an experience with someone and venting. Like, I'm just always asking myself, like, what's the purpose of what I'm about to share? Is it like to bond with someone over somebody else's thing that they chose to do? Or
the Four Agreements feels like leading you into the going with the wind too, right? Because is it going with the wind, or is
bend
it
with
bend
the
with the
wind?
wind?
Yeah.
Bend with the wind. Because it's really like letting go of trying to control everything around you, but realizing you still have agency, like in your own body and movements within an ecosystem that you like live in, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. The bend with the wind is what, like, you know, because I would say I was really controlling and really codependent. And when I was diagnosed when I went through cancer, it was really like a reset for me, and bending with the wind is the only way to go through something like that. Because you can't control what you have to literally let go of control. Like, going under in surgery is like one of my favorite moments, because it's like the moment right before you go under is the most like surrender you've ever felt in your life. I've had like 12 surgeries. So I love that part when I hear I'm going to have a surgery. I'm like, yes, I get to feel the most like letting go possible, like of the most letting go that you could possibly feel. And that to me is like, I want to just like let go in everything and not overthink and not control. And so when you bend with the wind, you can't overthink and you can't control. And that's the goal, is to not. So I feel like I really, that's sort of like my life motto, is the bend with the wind.
Wow. I've never heard anyone talk about like the moment before surgery like that.
Oh my God. Like the moment before surgery is
It's like
it's great.
Have
you had surgery?
Yeah. But I did not feel that way, but I understand what that, there's a trust, right? And there's a like, I'm going to wake up different and I'm in somebody else's hands and I can't stop this and I need this anyway and it's happening.
Yeah. Exactly. All those thoughts, but seeing it more as like that versus,
Yours is like a letting go of control and a trust.
It's very peaceful. It's like a very peaceful moment. Even like hearing things fading away is like a really getting distance from like existence for a second, like it's really special. I love going under.
Wow. That's that is like, I've never thought about that. And then you wake up and then you still have this like goal of like experiencing the things that come your way with the same kind of like peace and like composure or something, moving through the world, which is like harder when you know that you have action in it all.
Yeah.
But I guess the goal is to be like as like zen and like collaborative with your life.
Collaborative is great. Yeah.
Right?
And to trust that the universe has like a plan and that it's going to make sense someday, whatever you think is like this big hiccup or obstacle, like it'll be a lesson that makes sense. And you won't know why. You don't need to figure out why now. It could be a year or a few where you're like, oh, that's why,
That's why.
And so just really like trust falling and knowing that like somebody, some sort of like energy is looking out for you and they have your back and they're making these kind of like video game things you have to get through to.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're going to throw this at, see how she hops over it. And so I'm just sort of like, oh, interesting choice. All right, here I go. And sort of like, I like always like, not like look up to God, but I'm like always like looking up to like the universe or whatever. Like that was funny. Like you're a comedian.
Good one. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like you've made an overall decision that the universe is in your favor.
Or that, or not, like just that it knows better than me. Not that it's all going to work out. It just knows better. And like, and maybe who knows, maybe I'm not meant to live past a certain age, or who knows, maybe I'm going to have to see what it feels like to experience like being broke or like going bankrupt or something, like anything like that. It's not like just trust it'll all work out. And like, it's just more like, oh, okay, this is a lesson. And I wonder why I need to learn it, but here we go.
And then you ask of yourself to follow the 4 agreements among other principles and keep trying your best. Right?
Yes, exactly.
It is so rare for me to be freshman at something and, to be honest, bad at a sport. But I really love those opportunities to try something new, and I feel most comfortable when I'm doing it in a fun environment with somebody who feels like a real teammate. Joe, the founder of Go Brewing, is awesome. Go Brewing in every way represents his ethos. It's about optimistically pursuing a healthy dream. And we did this fitness competition in Las Vegas together called High Rocks. And we were not the worst people there. And we never left each other's sides in the running portion, partially because it's against the rules, but also because we were having so much fun. Go Brewing has not only become a staple in my day, but has also helped color the way I see my life right now, which is full of flavor and balance. The beers have real fruit and are about 50 calories each. Right now, I love the New School Sour and the Salty AF Chilada. It's refreshing and salty and has a little lime flavor. You've got to try it out. Visit gobrewing.com/Alexi and I'll add my favorites to your cart. You'll even get 15% off your first order. Here's to new friends, shared experiences, and unforgettable moments. It's very good. You have another mentor in a friend and collaborator of yours.
Yeah, I mentioned that because when I was thinking like who is a mentor to me, like one of my friends, Miranda July, is like one of my biggest influencers in that. I respect her creatively so much, and she really has her own way of living life. She lives life with so much curiosity for other people and fascination with choices people make, and she really has a patience about her, and even the like soft way that she speaks and takes her time in speaking is inspiring to me, like because she doesn't feel like she has to like fill the gaps or say or whatever. Like she just really has this confidence and ease about her that I strive to have about myself too. And she is so disciplined with writing, but also gentle on herself as well. Like, and has shown me like her creative, like when she's working on her book, she would show me like how in Evernote she has this process, and she would write, if you have a thought, you would just put it right here and here. Like she's just kind of helped me organize my thoughts in a way too. And then when it comes to dance, like I really love watching her dance, and she kind of has that like egg Twyla Tharp quality to her movement too, where she's like slowly finding things. And and also the way that she lives life, like she makes these big swings and follows what makes her happy. And it's just kind of like somebody that I just, yeah, she's another. I think of like mentors as people that you respect so much and think about often. And I respect her so much and think about her a lot. And I'm really grateful to be in her orbit. And that book, All Fours, has changed so many people's lives. It's what it represents for women in their like middle life crisis, is so to speak, and making like big changes in what you want to do, and why do you feel like this traditional thing is for you. You can do whatever you want. Like it's just yeah, she paves her own path, and she really gives people permission to do that too, and it's really shaken things up for people, and I hope to do that with people too.
Yeah, how do you want to do it?
Well, I like to think I do it as a dance teacher. She does it as a writer. Yeah, just like shaking things up for people, saying like, you don't have to tell yourself that I'm shy and I'm not this. Like you can, why do you have to think that about yourself? You can actually decide to do something different that day. That's another thing Twyla says is like, there's so many versions of you, and know that you can change, and you will change so many times throughout your life. Like I get it, we are ourselves and all of this, but to think like that you don't have to stay in one box within yourself. And now I'm this and now I'm that. And I used to be like that. I'm not like that anymore. Now this is my new part of my personality that I'm shaping and crafting. And now I want to lean into this element. And it's more exciting to live life knowing that how much possibilities are out there for you, even outside of who you think you are. And that's it, you know?
And it's all guided by movement. Like when you talked about Twyla, it was like, keep moving. And that was something we talked about. And I'm really coming to appreciate how dance is like such a generous, kind place to see yourself as a verb, not a noun, you know, because in like a lot of other, it's inviting you to create like, and to create a new kind of like identity every moment.
Right.
And that's very unique to dance. Like I understand it can translate elsewhere, but it is such the perfect place to start.
Yeah. And a lot of people in my classes, they like to compare their videos. Like, I had you film your video at the end. Like people did like a split screen. Like here's the very first class I took and here's my most recent class doing that choreography and seeing like it taught them something about themselves. Like it's not that I'm not a dancer. It's that you have to like learn how to be comfortable in your own skin and accepting of your own skin and your own movement and like starting to learn how to through being gentle on yourself and practice like going and continuing to learn choreography and going to continue to like freestyle at the end of class or see what happens when you're trying to make these shapes that I'm making with your body. Like you're just that I feel like I could never teach without mirrors because I want people to look at themselves. Like some people are like, I don't want to look at them. I don't want to look. I don't want to watch my video back. But that is how you learn about yourself is through watching the shapes that your specific body makes and your instincts of what you want to do when you hear a song. Like I love encouraging people to film themselves at home and then go back and watch the tape, not with the goal of posting it or something, just in the goal of like connecting with yourself and watching how special your specific kind of movement is and just learning how to connect with yourself. And that's how you get good at dance is through being in your body more and not telling yourself these things about like that block you in life. Like I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not good at this, I'm not getting the choreo other people are. Like it's just like in anything in life. Like, of course, that's going to become your truth when that's all you say. So having more of a growth mindset when you're in class, like deciding like, oh, this is a brain puzzle for me and I'm going to figure out and I don't have to figure it out at the end of this hour. This is a movement journey that I'm on. I'm studying my body and I'm studying my instincts and trying to, break through the clutter that you tell yourself that keeps you blocked and off the dance floor,
Yeah, it's almost like when we look at when we're only looking at other people, that creates all those "I'm not" sentences,
right?
Because you're not this, and this what you see. But by watching yourself and spending more time getting to know yourself as you're talking about these playbacks or the mirrors, you can see what you are.
Yes,
right,
exactly.
And then you can take those principles that you've learned from Twyla, from Miranda July, and make yourself become whatever it is you're seeking as well through that movement, right? And guide yourself forward if there's something you're desiring.
There's like some meditation that I do sometimes in class where I'm just talking you through it. And it's like you're going out on stage, it's imagining the little you and you're in this costume and you're going out and you're doing this solo and everyone's staring at you and you see your parents or maybe you don't because they didn't show up or whatever. But you mess up the choreo and you freeze and then now imagine yourself, your big self's in the wings watching and you're going to run out and you're going to grab your little self and spin them around and then you're going to just freestyle dance and you're going to finish the dance like doing whatever you want. And like people are like bawling by the end of that, just imagining like having that moment where you get to go out and rescue your little self and say like none of this matters and like what do we want to do. And it just feels like that's just how I want to like think about life is just like dancing with my little self and doing whatever we want.
Well, and you've really found people like going back to Miranda July, it seems like it's so cool that you guys are like friends and now collaborators because I'm like what a meaningful thing to have somebody there that feels like they're living with the values and with the bravery that you have.
It's so fun to continue like learning from her just from being friend, like having friends in your orbit that inspire you and that make you want to not impress them, but also inspire them. Like, so you're staying in this best version of yourself or most open version of yourself is what I see the best version of yourself is. And that's what I really like about Miranda so much is that she really is curious about other people. And it's easy to be tunnel visioned and think about yourself and like what you're going through with your day, but to really like open your brain and think about this person that you're sitting next to on the train. I don't know. There's just something that she finds people fascinating, and I want to like open up my brain more and my mind and yeah, to let go of what you're putting on yourself and just being curious about other people is just like a breath of fresh air to know that there's a lot going on outside. It's not just you, you know, in the world. Like there's other people, and you can learn about yourself through being curious about other people.
I was told when you moved to LA, you like need to find your community because it can be a place that feels very individual and very desperate and very confusing. And so to just, find that like that town where everybody's like, yeah, this is our town, you know, is probably very important, even not living here. I know you live in New York.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's true for anywhere really, building community. Like a lot of people ask, how do you make friends? Like, what do you do to make so many friends or build a community or something? And really, having, like, I was reading this book. Is it called The Art of the Gathering? You ever hear that book?
Mm-mm.
It's really, really cool. It's like talking about how to have intentional gatherings and how to not be a chill host. There's like this chapter, it's like, don't be a chill host. And I'm like, whoa, what is this about? And it's like you can invite, people are excited to have something to go to, and they're looking at you as the host to give them an experience. So if you feel like you're lacking community, you start one by inviting specific people that you know how will be great with each other. Not just a numbers thing, come one, come all. Like find these people that would connect and click, and then know that you have a thing. We're all going to do this now. Now we're going to go in this room. Now we're going to play this game, and not think that you're forcing people to do something, but like rather, okay, we're going to do this thing. So kind of just like having the confidence in yourself and making what you want to exist in community, and people will show up and people will continue to show up. It's just like this whole like, come if you want, and I don't know, and how are you, like small talk. You just have to have more of an intention, because people are down no matter where you live, especially in cities that aren't that big and don't have that much to offer as far as like tons of options of things to do. Like, well, make it.
People like point of view too, right? Like that's why we like to watch movies too. It's like we want to feel something, but it's like somebody's decisions are there, and the more specific it is, the more delightful it is to watch, even if it wasn't a project you would make, you know?
Exactly.
And watching people that are excited about something and being a part of what they're excited about is like, it's like it goes in the same category as the like Miranda July being interested in other people. It's basically like we're all interested in things outside of ourselves. We just either don't take the time to do it, or we don't have the opportunity to see inside someone else's world, which they have to invite you to. I mean, the whole this whole conversation has really revolved around like movement in your body, but really it's changing. It's your mind. It's like moving things through and moving toward yourself, understanding yourself in an effort to like kind of become, I guess, who you really are. But it's like it's just it's a life of movement. And it's really wonderful because even I'm like, even the way we're talking, it's like I'm not even able to fully, like there's not a lot of like period. It's like we're just continuing to move with this. So I feel a little like I'm like we're just finding it.
Bending in the wind.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And I don't know, I've always been very glad that you exist, because whether it's like in person or like from afar, I feel like you are radiant, and then you leave room for everybody to be radiant. And that is like such a balance. There's some people who like really leave a lot of space for people and they don't necessarily step into it themselves, and then there's the opposite. And you're so both.
Well, thank you for saying
yeah.
that. That means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. If you're enjoying Mentor Buffet, follow Voicing Change for more inspirational and truly life-affirming content from shows like Soul Boom, The Proof, Feel Better, Live More, and the Rich Roll podcast. Just go to voicingchange.media. That's voicingchange.media for a beautiful selection of productive and positive shows.